Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and oh my gosh, you guys seen anything good today? Because I did. I know a lot of you guys are surprised still at our exclusive that we dropped, and thanks for everybody who's been sharing it and watching it. My phone's been beeping off the hook. I want to discuss it. I want to break it down. We got some new potential details because the internet seems to know, they seem to know who it is. I want to discuss that with you. I also want to discuss, could this affect the appeal? There's so much to talk about in this new evidence because we actually had sort of known that this may have happened, but now we seemingly can confirm it. I want to talk about it with so happy to have the lawyer you know, Peter Tragos, here to join me. How you doing, Peter?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
I'm excited. Yeah, this is an interesting thing to talk about. There's, you know, everyone's jazzing about the exclusive picks. In fact, I think Newsweek was the first one to pull it out. As more, I'm being told, are now starting to do it. It's interesting though. Everyone is leaning towards this Cara Delevigne, which honestly I didn't even think when I saw it. A lot of people are like, "Is that her sister?" Like, there's been a couple of theories as we've been going. I want to get your reaction. You posted one? I know I saw you post one early. You move fast. What was your reaction to seeing this come out in front of everybody?
So when I first saw it, I thought it was something, totally new. I had no idea that any accusations about Cara Delevigne have come through depots or through the trial or anything like that. I knew we heard about Elon Musk and James Franco, and specifically my mind went to Dr. Hughes's testimony where it was potential intimate relationships that she had, and she listed James Franco and Elon Musk. She did not list any females. And I felt like I could tell from your picture here that it was a female, right? And that was the big deal to me, is that it was not somebody that was listed on Dr. Hughes's report. It was not somebody I heard testimony come out in trial. But when I went into this trial, I didn't read all the depots. I didn't read all the motions. I didn't go through everything that was on the outside. I tried to focus on I talked to you about this, about the Australia tapes. I tried to look at what the jury saw, how they're going to make their decision, why they're going to make their decision. So to me, as someone who did not see any exterior evidence besides what came into trial, I thought, wow, this would have been important for the jury. This would have been damning for Amber. This would have been impeaching. This would have crushed her credibility even more. And this would have confirmed extramarital affairs in the ECB with someone that she didn't even tell Dr. Hughes about, potentially. So is she lying to her own expert? Right. I think it would have called a lot of that into question in the trial if this would have come out.
Now, the biggest thing everyone's sort of telling me in here, well, for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, these are the images that I stumbled upon. There is no timestamp on the image that I can see. However, from my deductions, estimated this was around April 2016. Now, I can't prove it, but I think it, so you got to take that as you will. I think is it timestamp? What's the date is kind of moot to me because, again, even if it was the month after, it's still very questionable to me. It's just like,
why do you think April?
Well, I don't want to get into too details of how
some stuff that you've heard.
Yeah, just from what I've been gathering, it's around April 2016 is what I've gathered. This is where this came from.
That's very early on compared to some of the stuff I've heard. I have. So if you look at the Josh Drew depot, I guess it says November, I think, of 2016, which their divorce wasn't finalized till 2017. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so whatever date you pick in 2016, they're still legally married. Obviously, this is the penthouse Johnny owns.
Correct.
They don't own it together. So, I mean, no matter how you slice it, this is still in the midst of their relationship, even if it's when things are rocky, after they file for divorce, whatever it may be. And if you remember when Dr. Hughes was talking to Amber Heard and asking her about all of this, there was all sorts of different timelines in when this happened. And this would fall into the period she was with Johnny. And that's the big thing for me, is that she denied any affairs, called Johnny jealous and crazy for being jealous, and the alcohol and the drugs. This is Coke Johnny being jealous, that stuff. And then explaining to Dr. Hughes some kind of relationship with Franco and Musk, but not mentioning a female, whether this is Cara Delevigne or not. I think it would have crushed Amber's credibility even more.
What's
during the
so
trial.
annoying though, it's like without the timestamp, they can just be like, well, it doesn't matter. But it's like it kind of matters. You're in this. This is Johnny's penthouse's building, right? All these friends have been living there, freeloading there. He's paying the rent, and she's just letting her friends up and down, saying it never is a big deal. Well, I mean, even after the TRO, like really, you're just like the month after, you're just like making out. Like this seems like a passionate makeout session to go so immediately after such a traumatized event. I love you, Johnny. I love you, Johnny. Like I don't care what the stands say, what Amber says. Like to me, looks terrible no matter when it was taken, if it's in the building, because everything in that building to me connects to Johnny. And she can deny it all she wants, but clearly I really believe this happened a lot earlier, and I think this really does finally prove, I'm guessing here, I'm speculating here, I'm gonna get in trouble, but there must have been so many more, Peter. Like I want to go through sort of the testimony here of Josh Drew, because it's important. So this came out, this was a confidential thing he did. What's it called? The deposition, right? He did his deposition. We're going to play it in a second. But he made it public when he put it together as an attachment to his witness statement in the UK. So when that happened, it was then suddenly out to the world. We all got access to the transcript. And it's a very long transcript, but there's a portion here where, so it says here, sorry, hold on, I'll read this first part. Who is Cara Delevigne? Who is Cara Delevigne? I'm mispronouncing her name. I don't know if anybody can pronounce her last name, to be honest, says Drew. Who is she? A friend of Amber's. Did she spend the night with Amber Heard? It's possible, but I don't recall specifically. Did Rocky tell you that Amber was having an affair with Cara Delevigne while she was still married to Johnny Depp? Yes.
So that question right there is why it didn't come in, because it's hearsay within hearsay within hearsay within hearsay within hearsay. But these pictures change that a little bit.
Well, so did she ever tell you that the three of them, Elon Musk, Cara Delevigne, spent the night with Amber in November 2016? To a specific date, I can't say. Did she ever tell you in words or substance, though Amber's still married, that the three of them, Amber, Elon, and Cara, spent the night together? Yes. So they were having, a three-way affair, correct? My understanding, yes. So other than these multiple affairs you can speak to, you'll have to bear with me a second just to go through. Honestly, I don't recall just those two. And then they talk about Franco, etc. But that's where this came from. And in fact, this is on tape.
Did Rocky tell you that Amber Heard was having an affair with Cara Delevigne while she was still married to Johnny Depp?
Yes.
Did she ever tell you that the three of them, Elon Musk, Cara Delevigne, spent the night with Amber in November of 2016?
To the specific date, I can't say.
Did she ever tell you in words or substance, while Amber was still married to Johnny Depp,
In words or substance.
that the three of them, Amber Heard, Elon Musk, and Cara Delevigne, spent the night together?
Yes.
So they were having a three-way affair, correct?
My understanding, yes.
Now, this is a guy who was dating her best friend, right? Raquel, was part of the crew. He's in the photos when she gets the TRL, this is one of her side admitting that, I heard through her best friend that this happened. Now, granted, that is
Objection. Here's
it is technically hearsay, but Peter, that's still pretty. Now the pieces are starting to come together when you couple that with this potentially, allegedly from April, May, to show how long this potentially was going. It's pretty damning, no?
So not only is he one of her friends, he was also, at least from my perspective, I don't know what you felt about him when you listened to him during the trial, he was one of the more credible witnesses for her side, in my opinion. I didn't feel like he was trying to pull one way or the other. I didn't feel like he was trying to convince anybody of anything. I felt like his deposition was pretty honest. And he said, I wasn't in the room for 10 minutes when stuff was happening. It could have happened then. I'm not sure, but I didn't see it. And when I walked in, they weren't pulling off this hoax. And I actually think he was a main cog in why Amber Heard won one of her defamation counts. So I think the jury found him to be credible. I found him to be pretty credible watching it as a, electronic juror. And therefore, that makes his testimony hold more weight to me. That's what jurors do. They go to each witness and they say, I'm going to judge and weigh the credibility of this witness. So if we're doing that and he says it, to me, it holds a lot of weight. And I think it's probably true, at least that was his understanding of the situation and the relationship.
Yeah, well said. I mean, just one more piece of him, just to add this to it.
Did you ever notice anyone visiting Amber Heard at night while Mr. Depp was away?
Now, this did make it into the Virginia trial.
During the time that I was living there,
Yes.
yes.
On how many occasions?
I wouldn't even be able to estimate.
Was it more than 10?
Yes,
Was it more than 20?
yes,
Was it more than 30?
yes.
Was it more than 50?
Again, I can't really speculate. I was there for quite some time.
When did that first occur?
I mean, I'm not privy to her comings and goings, and she had other friends than us that were coming to see her. So,
And again, to be specific, I'm just talking about visitors at night when Mr. Depp was away.
again, I can't say with any specificity.
When did that first happen that you were aware of?
I mean, I would say pretty early on, but again, there's no context to it. The other consideration that I would say is that the hallway between all of these penthouses was public right-of-way going to the pool. So my understanding of people coming and going, it might have been the public, it might have been residents, or no, I'm sorry, not public, it might have been residents in the building. I can't really say with any specificity.
So, I mean, he's covering himself, but he's pretty much acknowledging, yeah, like late night visitors while Johnny is away, 50. I mean, that could be friends, let's be fair. That doesn't necessarily guarantee. I don't know, everyone wants to jump and say she's doing it, but now, you know, when you see these images and this potentially is happening, it does now make you wonder how many more could there be, especially if you think he was credible. What do you think of that testimony there, Peter?
Yeah, I mean, that to me is not as damning to Amber Heard. If she's lived there for a number of years, Johnny's away a lot. It's nighttime during every 24-hour period, so everybody that came could have fallen into that. That's not nearly as damning as admitting a three-way affair with pictures of Elon Musk and her getting cozy on the elevator, Franco and her getting cozy on the elevator, and then her making out with a female counterpart. You know, to me is just it kills her credibility because she didn't. And this goes to the interviews that Johnny Depp's lawyers did, right? One of the things the jurors they think hated was that Amber never admitted any wrongdoing. She had an excuse for everything. Johnny took some of his damages with the drugs, with the alcohol, with the nasty texts. She didn't even admit this stuff, right? Whether it was post-TRO, post-filing for divorce or whatever, she didn't admit any of this. So again, they would have been able to put this in front of her face during the trial and say, you have to admit to it now. You didn't admit to it last time. You've never admitted to it before. And I think this is just another example of that she really didn't admit to stuff like this where there actually is a mountain of evidence we can say based on her own language.
Right, when you couple this with James Franco who's cozying up to her and Elon who's cozying up to her, it's just like this is clearly she got used to it. You know, she sort of owned the elevator in my eyes. Like when you watch this is confidence. This isn't. There's no fear here. As Amy Goodhart, props. I would just quick. I meant good timing. Go support Amy Mods. Go. I know she's going through her own pet emergencies and stuff. Go follow her at least or support her if you can. She's amazing. And I was so grateful because I surprised her on that just so she could help me confirm that, yeah, this is the ECB and that's the parking mezzanine level. So it sounds like Amber was going down to sort of the like parking lot to leave. And then it seems like, I don't know, she's holding back or something. And then Amber's pulling. I don't know what's going on, but something's continuing, right? It's like it's a very deep moment, it seems. So
it's not something you'd want your partner doing.
Yeah, it's like it's weird, right? It doesn't seem like a little kiss or like a thank you or like thanks for being there for me, like because even if it was just that, I would have been like, well, all right, maybe there's a hug here, but this image makes me go, wait a second. Wait a second. So I wish we had more. I wish we could detail all that. But based on what we have, it's still pretty damning to me to see it. Just like I said, like how confident Amy was telling me how public that is. You know what I mean? Like even after your TRO, like it's just a bad look. Like I'm filing this TRO against my husband, who I love. I'm so distraught. All this stuff she keeps saying. Oh, but I'm making out with my girlfriends in the lobby of the hotel. I mean, of my building. Do you think it still could have affected her credibility even without the timestamp? I guess is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that they can prove that actually, sometimes what you can do, which is really interesting, is assuming that the person on the stand is going to tell the truth, or even if they lie, you can prove it. Just ask Amber, when was this? Let her date it. And if she can't date it, say, well, it was while you were living in the penthouse. When did you move out of the penthouse? So it was somewhere between this date and that date. So we know it was here. So do you admit having multiple people over and having intimate encounters with them? And whatever it is, they could have gotten something out of these pictures. Because she can't just say James Franco was coming over to console me because I had just been beaten and he was just a friend and a shoulder to cry on, which is kind of, I feel like, what she was saying on the stand. And Elon Musk happened much later. This we're seeing is happening right now in this. Well, were you with Elon Musk while this was happening? You know, were you cheating on him? You can get a lot out of this picture and confronting her with this, to where even if a witness is going to try to lie, as a lawyer, you can usually catch them in that lie or use it against them. And with all of the testimony they have in black and white, sworn under oath for Amber Heard, my guess is they can impeach her multiple times with these pictures.
So that's a perfect segue to something else I wanted to talk about. And Christopher's going to join us in a bit and give us his perspective. But while you're here, do you think this could affect her appeal? Does it affect it all? Or if they try, can this be brought in? Like, what could this help? Does this affect it? Not at all. It's over. It's done with. What are your thoughts regarding that?
So I don't think this is going to affect the appeal at all. This is, quote unquote, new evidence, but it's dialogue they already knew about. So my guess is Johnny Depp's team tried to get stuff like this, since they knew potentially there were some females involved, there were some threesomes, there were some Elon Musk, some James Franco, whatever it may be. My guess is they knew about it. So even if this was an issue for an appeal, if I was an appellate judge, I would say, you should have gone and done this. You had the testimony of Josh Drew. You knew it existed. So it's not like something that they were hiding from you. That might make it a different story if, Amber controlled it and hid it and lied and paid people off to keep it quiet. Doesn't seem like it's anything like that. It seems like if they, just like the people that came out of the woodwork, the randos that came on rebuttal, this is something that was potentially available to them that they could have had. This type of new evidence I don't think is going to affect the appeal at all. It would only come into play if there was a second trial. You better believe they'd probably be calling you and asking you to take your logo off this picture to put it in front of court so the jury could see it. Of
course, if that's where it goes, we'll have to figure that out. But yeah, I mean, so if it was the other way around and we had shots of Johnny doing something really bad to her, could that be?
Or just Johnny doing this?
Right? Could that come in to help her appeal?
No.
Doesn't matter.
Nope.
Even if it's a shot of Johnny doing what she alleged, it doesn't matter at this point.
Well, I mean, if it was a shot of that, my guess is still the answer would be no, because they had that testimony. They had evidence of that. But again, if there was some fraud on the court on Johnny's part, hiding it, destroying it, paying people off to lie about it, then potentially
that's what it
yes.
would take. Okay.
But if it was just something, like security footage that Johnny didn't know existed, that Amber didn't know existed, that they ended up finding, potentially no, because you have to have finality and you have to have your day in court and it can't be open forever. That's why there are statutes of limitation. And so I think the answer to that would be no, unless they found some, like I said, fraud or wrongdoing on Johnny and his team.
Interesting.
This lasted years and years and years. I mean,
could it affect Amber just from a public? Now we're speculating. I know completely out of your legal expertise, but like, do you think she's just going to ignore this? Like, if she were to do a publicity tour, I imagine this could come up, right? Someone's going to want to ask her this question. Do you think this will make her scale back or try to come after me? Like, what do you think Team Amber does as this starts trending today?
I think they would be foolish to come after you for something like this. I mean, this is, like I said, more of the same for her, frankly. Her damages, if there are any from something like this, would be totally tied to the damages that have already come for her credibility in the trial. I really don't see any additional damage coming her way. Frankly, it's just pictures that back up Josh Drew's deposition testimony, if anything. So the information, if it was going to be damaging to her, is already out there. And if she's lied about it and somebody's calling her on a lie, there's no legal cause of action for that, right? Like being proved to be a liar, there's no legal cause of action for that on the other side. Now, if somebody lies about you, as we've seen, there is a legal cause of action with defamation, but you're not telling any lies here. You're just showing pictures.
Yeah, no, and I didn't even, and that's the pivoting to the next question of, is it Cara Delevigne? I mean, I couldn't really tell who this was. And honestly, like I said, and I wasn't apparently the only one, like, is it Whitney? Like, there was a point where I was even asking myself, like, oh my God, is she making out with her sister? But as the internet has deduced and put it together, it does seem pretty similar to Cara Delevigne. So I put this
Leave
together.
it to the internet.
Well, I did this one because people were sending me all the images. So I was like, all right, well, let me put it together in one spot so you can sort of see here the connections here, because Steph found the messy hair in a shot. And these are all images around the 2016 dates, apparently.
Interesting.
She has a tattoo on her left, or on her, this is the left ear. So, which you can't really see it. You could sort of see here, but no, it looked clear. So the other ear, though, it doesn't have one. And so the hairline is pretty damn similar. The eyebrows, man, those are the most noticeable. She's got those really thick eyebrows. Yeah. And yeah, I got to say, the rest of it, she looks like she's just not wearing makeup as much. And I got to say, the hairline, the nose line, the chin line, it's all pretty damn close. That's
more your arena than mine.
I don't know, and I don't know if Cara will have to confirm or deny, but I see why the internet is suspecting it. And it makes me think, okay, especially that coupled with Josh Drew's testimony, it's hard to deny. And like, well, okay, front runner does seem to be Cara, and I think,
frankly, it may even be worse for Amber if it's somebody else.
True.
Right? Add another person to the list.
Correct, exactly. Because if there was someone we didn't even know yet who's in this random girl she's making out with, then it's like, well, my God, then it is even weirder. Because it is true. There's only really been the 3 that have been publicly discovered. But as of now, Peter,
yeah,
who knows?
Right.
I mean, we were talking about that the other day. She was hyping this tell-all book. And Christopher said it, and I didn't even really put it together, but I think I can't unthink it. The tell-all book, revenge book, is probably to all the other people who aren't publicly outed yet that maybe Amber has some dirt on. Do you think that's a possibility, that she's maybe like, she planted that out to some, tabloids to try to like get the other guys out there that might be nervous? Oh God, I want to get part of the circus. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Could that be a tactic, you think?
I mean, it could be. What people do for money with tell-all books surrounding legal cases never ceases to amaze me. But I don't know what she's going to do or what her plan is, but my guess is if she's planning a tell-all book, she's going to wait till after they figure out what they're doing with the $10+ million verdict against her, because I don't think she wants Johnny coming after those profits.
Right, because there's still a lot she can. She keeps saying she's going to do this appeal, but in your point of view, that's just ridiculous, right? Does she have any basis of appeal in your point of view?
So her best basis for appeal is the evidence that the judge did not allow to come in. I think most of those, and most of what I've heard, and most of the proffer that I heard at the trial, I think the judge made the right decision. But not only will she have to prove that the judge made an incorrect legal decision keeping that evidence out, but also that if that evidence would have come in, it would have changed the verdict. So it's a really high bar and tough to win an appeal. So I don't think she has a very good chance to win an appeal. Most people don't have a good chance to win an appeal. The appellate court usually doesn't want to overturn a jury verdict and judicial rulings, especially when there's so much judicial discretion with the decisions the judge made in this case. So I don't think she's got a great shot at it, but I don't think there's anything wrong with appealing a case either if you feel like you have legal grounds for it. So I don't condemn her for appealing it. I just don't expect her to win. Yeah,
that seems to be the consensus, but she's obviously going to keep saying she is from a PR standpoint, because it helps to sort of, for people who don't understand it, how long and how complicated it is. It's sort of like it's not real. I'm still fighting it. Like how long will the process actually take? Like how long can she make that excuse until the appeal is denied?
So I've seen appeals be as quick as 12 to 18 months, and I've seen some that have lasted 7 years.
Go follow Peter over on Twitter at Tragos Law, or you can look up The Lawyer You Know over on YouTube. Christopher Melcher is here, and my goodness, Christopher, can you believe these images?
Well, I'm only looking at it from a legal standpoint, and so in California, the divorce case, this would be irrelevant because we're a no-fault state in California, meaning that no one has to state or prove any grounds for a divorce. So in their divorce action between Johnny and Amber, it's inadmissible, irrelevant whether somebody had an affair or not, legally speaking. But Amber probably made it relevant, or I do think she made it relevant, as to the restraining order case that she brought against him, and then in the Virginia case, and also in the UK case, because she had said she was living in fear of Johnny. And so somebody who's living in fear of their partner certainly would not want to take risks like this of being caught having an affair if they were still together. Now, we don't know the timing of this video. It could be after they broke up. But still, I still find that relevant. Even if the relationship was over, they were separated when this incident occurred. This, we have to remember, on May of 2016, Amber had asked for a restraining order against Johnny. So she would say, even though they were broken up, she was in fear of him, she alleged, so much that she needed an order of protection by the court. And so being in his own penthouse, elevator, lobby area doing this, exposed to whoever other residents or people who were in that lobby area, would put her at risk of this dangerous spouse that she claimed that she had. Yeah. So that made it relevant in May of 2016 for the restraining order thing. And then certainly in these two cases that they had.
So you're right. If living in fear, finding the restraining order, why would she want to be risking being caught? Because as Amy said, that is like a lobby area that anybody could have walked by and done, including Johnny. I mean, she probably knew Johnny was out. I don't know where Johnny was on those dates. And maybe we'll find out more as we get closer, or more comes out. But it's a very interesting point to reveal. Yeah, that the fact that she should have been more careful. This is not something you do. I would chat. What do you think? This is not something I would do even after filing the TRO, especially given how much I love Johnny and I'm so distraught, et cetera, et cetera. It really does knock down the character. Now, Peter had said this isn't going to affect the appeal, and he even admitted like nothing. Even if there was evidence like this with Johnny that could adjust things, he's like, none of that's really going to help unless Johnny was paying off people and doing a little nasty stuff. Do you agree with that, or do you think there's any way that this could affect the appeal?
No. It has, the appeal is based on what happened in court, and this was not presented because Johnny apparently didn't have access to this information. And had he had the video, I think it was relevant in the UK case and the Virginia case, because and I looked at the UK judgment, and there were references to Johnny being jealous, thinking that she's having an affair with various people. And that was cited by Amber to saying, like, I have a jealous, husband who was irrationally believed that I was having relationships with all these people. We heard her testify about that in the Virginia case, that she was worried about taking certain roles with male partners or with nudity scenes because Johnny was so jealous and would fly into a rage, and she was scared about that. So if that testimony were true, then what is going on here? And especially if that happened before they separated, then his beliefs that she was cheating on him would not be irrational, number one. And number two, that to do this publicly, like I've stated, or at least in an area of a secured building that other residents, security guards, and certainly she would know there's a video camera or CCTV camera right there. Exposing all of that would place her in risk of this person that she was allegedly so terrified about. So that's how Johnny would have used the information. It would have just been further impeachment. It wouldn't have affected the outcome of the trial because he won on the point that he sued her for.
Well, there you go. What a show. We had so much interesting stuff. If you missed the full 4 hours, make sure you hit that join button. Hit the join, pick a level, become a member, join the Popcorn Planeteer community. We got so much stuff coming. You're not even going to want to miss it. Thanks to all my amazing guests. Kelly, Phil for hanging out. Lewis, Steph, all my amazing callers. It was an amazing show. Thank you guys for helping us blow up this exclusive. We appreciate you. And guess what? There's more coming. So hit that subscribe button as well. If you're watching live, you're going to head over to Nerd Report. If the link doesn't work, I'm pasting it right now in the comments. If you're watching on the replay, click on one of these videos and become